I didn't expect to see him again. Not after everything that happened. Not after the silence. Not after his brother walked out of my life and took an entire year with him. I was reaching for coffee when I heard my name. Soft, careful, like he wasn't sure he still had the right to say it. I turned, and there he was, taller than I remembered, calmer, older in a way that felt earned, not easy. The same eyes that used to watch me from the edge of the room when I pretended not to notice. "Hey," he said. My chest tightened. "Hey," I replied. We stood there awkwardly, surrounded by strangers, like two people who shared something no one else could see. "I didn't know you were back," I said. "I moved back last month." Of course he did. "Your brother," I started. He shook his head quickly. "Let's not do that here." That was new. Before, he always let his brother lead. Now, he was setting boundaries. We ordered coffee in silence. When the barista called my name, he smiled faintly. "You always hated how they spelled it wrong," he said. I blinked. "You remember that?" "I remember more than I should," he replied. That made the air between us heavier. We took our drinks to a small table by the window. I didn't invite him. He didn't ask. It just happened. "I thought about reaching out," he admitted quietly. "A lot. Why didn't you?" He looked at his hands. "Because I didn't know if I was allowed to." That stung more than anger would have. "You were my brother's boyfriend," he continued. "I stayed out of it. I always did." I nodded. "You did." A pause. "But things aren't the same anymore," he said. "No," I agreed. "They're not." He met my eyes then. Direct. Honest. "I'm not here to reopen old wounds," he said. "I just didn't want to walk past you like you were a stranger." I swallowed. "You never were." The words slipped out before I could stop them. He smiled, not relieved, not hopeful, just real. When we stood to leave, he hesitated. "I'm glad I ran into you," he said. "So am I," I admitted. He nodded once. "Maybe next time," he added carefully. "We talk without pretending this doesn't matter." Then he walked away. I stood there longer than I should have, coffee cooling in my hand, heart racing with something I didn't want to name yet. Because the worst part wasn't seeing him again. It was realizing I never stopped noticing him in the first place. I told myself the coffee meant nothing. People run into each other all the time. Old connections resurface. Conversations happen. That's what normal adults do. But when I got home, I couldn't stop replaying his voice in my head. The way he said my name like it still belonged to him somehow. My phone buzzed an hour later. Unknown number. "It's me. I hope this isn't weird." I stared at the screen longer than I should have. "You didn't give me your number," I typed back. "I still had it," he replied. "I never deleted it. That should have been my warning." We didn't start with flirting. That would have been easier. We started with honesty. He told me about moving back, about leaving his job in another city, about how quiet the house felt without his brother there anymore. I didn't ask about the breakup. He didn't offer details. Some things still hurt too much to touch. We met again 2 days later. Not planned, just convenient. A walk, neutral territory, daylight like it might keep us honest. "You look different," he said as we walked. "So do you." He smiled faintly. "Different good. Different real," I said. That made him slow his steps. "I used to watch you," he admitted suddenly. "Back then." I stopped walking. "You mean when I was with him?" He nodded. "I told myself it was just curiosity," he said. "That you were family adjacent. Safe. And now?" I asked. He looked at me carefully. "Now I don't lie to myself like that anymore." My chest tightened. "This is a bad idea," I said. "Yes," he agreed immediately. "But I don't feel wrong standing here with you." We stood on the sidewalk, cars passing. The world moving like nothing inside me was unraveling. "I don't want to hurt anyone," I said quietly. "Neither do I." A pause. "But pretending this isn't here?" he added. "That's hurting us already." He didn't touch me. That almost made it worse. When we parted, he didn't ask for anything. No promises. No plans. Just one sentence before turning away. If this goes somewhere, he said, I want it to be because we chose it, not because we were careless. I watched him walk off, heart pounding, knowing the truth was already catching up to me. We weren't revisiting the past. We were creating a new problem, and I didn't know if I wanted to stop it. I didn't hear from him for 2 days. Not a message. Not a check-in. Nothing. I told myself it was good. Space meant clarity. Silence meant restraint. That illusion lasted until my phone rang. His brother's name lit up the screen. I almost didn't answer. Almost. Hey, he said. Too casual. Too late. Hey, how've you been? He asked, like we hadn't ended badly, like time hadn't burned everything between us. I'm okay. A pause. I ran into my brother yesterday, he said. My chest tightened. He mentioned seeing you. I stayed quiet. He didn't say much, he continued. Just that you looked good. That word landed wrong. He's back in town, he added. I thought you should know. I already do. Another pause. Longer this time. Did something happen? He asked. No, I said, and hated how thin it sounded. Good, he replied, because that would complicate things. After we hung up, my hands were shaking. That night, there was a knock at my door. I didn't need to check who it was. He stood there, jaw tight, eyes dark with something restrained. I shouldn't be here, he said. You came anyway. Yes. We didn't invite each other in. He stepped past me as the decision had already been made. I heard you talk to him, he said. So did you, I replied. Silence pressed in. He asked if something was going on. I added. And I said no. His shoulders dropped slightly. Relief, mixed with disappointment. That was the right answer, he said. Was it? He met my eyes. I don't want to betray him, he said. But I don't want to lie to myself anymore either. That's not fair, I said quietly. You don't get both. I know. We stood too close. Not touching. Not moving. If he found out, I said, it would destroy what's left. I know. And yet you're here. Yes. He reached out, then stopped, hands suspended between us. Tell me to leave, he said. I should have. Instead, I whispered, don't. He closed the distance slowly, like he was giving me time to change my mind. He didn't kiss me. He rested his forehead against mine. Breathing the same air, sharing the same silence. This is the last moment. It's innocent, he murmured. I closed my eyes. I think that already passed. He pulled back slightly, searching my face. Tomorrow, he said, voice low, we decide what kind of people we are. Then he stepped away, left without looking back. I stood there long after the door closed, knowing he was right. This wasn't tension anymore. It was a reckoning. I didn't sleep that night, not because I was afraid of what might happen, because I knew something would. Morning came heavy and gray, like it already knew the kind of day it was going to be. I moved through it on autopilot, coffee, shower, keys, trying to keep my mind from circling back to his voice. Tomorrow, we decide what kind of people we are. He texted just before noon. Can we talk? Not somewhere private. Somewhere honest. I knew what that meant. We met in a public park near the river. Benches, open space, daylight that made secrets feel exposed. He was already there, standing instead of sitting, hands in his pockets like he didn't trust himself with them. You came, he said. So did you. He nodded once. No small talk. I told him, he said. My heart stuttered. Told him what? That I ran into you. That we talked. That I still think about you more than I should. I swallowed. And he asked me if it meant something, he continued. I said I didn't know yet. That wasn't nothing. He deserves the truth, I said quietly. Yes, he agreed. So do you. We sat down, the space between us deliberate this time. I'm not asking you to choose me, he said. I'm asking you to choose yourself. I looked at him, really looked, You're part of that choice, I said. I know. Couple walked past, laughing. Life going on like this wasn't tearing something open inside me. If we do this, I said slowly, we don't get to pretend it was an accident. I wouldn't want to, he replied. And we hurt him. His jaw tightened. Yes, the honesty in that hurt more than denial would have. I don't want to be someone's secret, I continued. And I don't want to be someone's regret. He turned to me fully then. You wouldn't be either, he said firmly. You'd be the reason I finally stopped living halfway. Silence stretched. Not tense. Just real. I stood first. I need time, I said. He nodded. I'll give it. I took a step away, then stopped. And if I don't choose this? I asked without turning. He answered without hesitation. Then I'll let you go, he said. Even if it costs me. I walked away before my resolve could break. Because choosing him wasn't the hardest part. It was accepted that some choices don't come without damage. I didn't answer his messages. Not because I didn't know what to say. Because I did. And saying it would change everything. I tried to distract myself. Work, errands, noise. But every quiet moment pulled me back to the same truth. Avoiding a choice doesn't erase it. It just lets it grow sharper. That evening, my phone rang again. His brother. I stared at the screen longer than I should have. Then I answered. Hey, he said. Hey, I need to ask you something. He continued, voice careful. Something I should have asked a long time ago. My chest tightened. Okay. He hesitated. Did you ever feel something else? When we were together? Like you were somewhere you didn't fully belong? The question landed hard. I cared about you, I said honestly. But I don't think I was ever allowed to be myself. Silence. That makes sense, he said quietly. I always felt like you were holding something back. I swallowed. I wasn't trying to hurt you. I know, he replied. And I'm not calling to accuse you. Another pause. I just wanted to tell you I'm moving on, he said. I think we both deserve that. When the call ended, I sat there, breathing slowly, realizing something had shifted. Not relief, permission. There was another knock at my door later that night. I knew who it was before I opened it. He stood there, calmer than I'd seen him yet. Not hopeful, not desperate, ready. I didn't come to pressure you, he said. I just didn't want tonight to pass without being honest. I stepped aside, letting him in. I spoke to him, I said. He nodded. So did I. We stood in the living room, distance deliberate. I'm not asking you to choose me, he said again. I just need to know if what we're feeling is real. I took a breath. It is. The words settled between us. He didn't smile. He exhaled. Then I need to say this clearly, he said. I'm willing to face the consequences. I just won't face them alone. I met his eyes. You won't, I said. He stepped closer, not rushing, not claiming. I don't want to hide anymore, he said. Neither do I. We didn't kiss. We didn't need to. This wasn't about impulse. It was about intention. Outside, the city kept moving. Inside, something finally came to rest. Because once the truth is spoken, there's no pretending it didn't matter. We didn't rush into anything. That was the first promise we kept. Morning came soft and slow. He made coffee as he belonged there, not like someone sneaking into a life that wasn't his. We sat across from each other, sunlight cutting between us, everything finally out in the open. I told him, he said quietly. I didn't ask who. I didn't explain every detail, he continued. But I didn't lie. And, I asked. He was hurt, he said honestly, but not surprised. That part stayed with me. I think he always knew I was standing in the doorway, he added, watching instead of living. I reached across the table and took his hand. Not dramatic, not secret, just real. Later that day, I ran into his brother by chance. Same street, same timing, no way to avoid it. We stood there awkwardly for a moment. I heard, he said finally. I didn't plan for it to happen like this, I replied. I know, he said, and I don't hate you. That almost hurt more than anger would have. You were honest with me, he continued. That matters. He took a breath. I hope you're choosing something real, he said. I am. He nodded once. Then don't waste it. That was it. No shouting. No accusations. Just closure. That night, he came back to my place without hesitation. No knocking like he wasn't sure anymore. No waiting for permission. He stood in front of me, eyes steady. This is me choosing, he said. Not running. Not hiding. I know. He leaned in slowly, giving me every chance to pull away. I didn't. The kiss was gentle, certain, nothing stolen about it. When we pulled apart, he rested his forehead against mine. I don't know what this looks like in the long run, he said. I don't either, I admitted. But I know I don't want a life where I keep wondering what if. Neither did I. Later, as the city settled into quiet, we sat side by side. No need for words. We didn't fix everything. We didn't erase the past. But we chose a future that belonged to us. And for the first time, that felt enough. We didn't fall into this. We chose it knowing the cost. And we didn't look back. Subscribe for more stories.